Hi Studio Art, welcome back to our series on portraiture and drawing faces. So I asked you to, over the last couple of days, go ahead and just try and draw someone. Look at a face and try and draw them. Hopefully you enjoyed it, but inevitably you probably had all kinds of questions and struggles, like how do you draw eyes, how do you draw ears, how do you draw a nose, where do you put the mouth, how do you draw lips, how do you draw hair. And over the next week or so, I'm going to give you some little videos and I'm going to answer some of those questions, and we'll do some exercise in the sketchbook one at a time to work on each of those questions. So this video here is going to be really just about how to draw eyes. The first thing you want to realize, point number one about how to draw eyes, is that all eyes are different. So the second point I'm going to want you to think about when drawing eyes is the fact that the top curve of the eye is different from the bottom curve. And this goes back to something that an art teacher had told me once, that there are no parentheses in the body. There are no equal synthetic curves across from each other. So that top curve of the opening of the eye will be a little different from the bottom. Now I'm going over to a mirror and drawing my own eye, but you can see the top curve here peaks in a very different place than the bottom curve, which kind of flattens out a lot more. So I just started with just that opening shape of the eye. And the next point you're going to see in my 3 tips is that the inside of the eye, here where the tear duct is a very different shape than the outside of the eye here, where the top and the bottom kind of come together. And the outside, there tends to be a little bit of an overlap, right? So you want to pay attention to that too, that you've got this tear duct shape here, which sometimes sticks out almost like a little stem, and then directly across from it, or depending upon the expression of the eye, you've got this little overlap. So these 2 points end up having very different looks to them, the inside of the eye and the outside of the eye. So the next thing I'm going to want you to do is pay attention to those little eyelid folds above and below the eye. You've got the opening of the eye where we can see the eyeball through there, but then there's a little fold under the brow of where your eyelid kind of collects. Now this is different on everybody, so this is what really makes people individual. Some people have virtually no eyelid folds at all when you see their eyes open, and some people have really heavy lids. That it's typically kind of what's called an open form line, which means it doesn't really touch anything. It's open on each side. And when I look closely at mine, the eyelid fold gets a little closer in spots and a little farther away in spots. So you want to make sure to include that eyelid fold. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the iris of the eye, the iris and the pupil. That's the little colored part that's inside the white of your eyes. This is very important. The iris of the eye, that circle, and it is a perfect circle, is almost never completely visible unless you're showing extreme surprise. So that circle should sort of at least tuck quite a bit behind the eyelid at the top and the bottom. This is hard when you're drawing in a mirror, self-portrait, because you tend to have your eyes wide open because you're looking closely. But if you'll notice, it'll tuck behind the eyelid. At the top, you can imagine the whole circle here, and it'll also tuck in at the bottom. Now, the other thing you're going to say is, especially if you're drawing, but how do you draw these parts? Basically, you're drawing a pretty good sized circle, and then a smaller circle within, which is the pupil. This smaller circle will be much darker than this part, and then the color part of the eye tends to have these lines of value that kind of spiral out from the middle. Okay? Now again, these are kind of general rules about drawing eyes. Everybody's eyes are different. You look really closely at that. Even the color of that. I have a stepsister who has in one of her eyes 3/4 of her eye is blue and 1/4 is brown. It's kind of odd to look at. But think about this. The circle will disappear. Don't have the whole circle visible within your eyelids. Otherwise, it'll look like that. So the next thing on your eyes is going to be your eyelashes and eyebrows. And again, this is very different for everybody. As you can see looking at me, I'm very fair-skinned, and when I had hair, it was very fair hair. So my brows are a very light color, and so are my eyelashes, so there's not much to them. But you can see just a faint version of where the brow is up here, and some eyelashes coming off of there where I can see them, are really important to giving eyes that bit of pop and detail. That's really part of it. So when you're looking at your model or the person that you're drawing, give a good look at what their eyelashes and eyebrows look like. It gives them a lot of character. The next point is eyeballs are orbs, and they are, if you're living, wet and shiny. So including that little highlight space on there, that little highlight that gives them life, is really important. So in mine here, I just went back in with the eraser and just pulled this little bit off that I recognize. That's where the light from above was hitting the orb of my eye. So popping that little highlight in there. If you're working with paint, sometimes it's going back in with a little white. If you're working with pencil, sometimes it's going back in and erasing. If you can leave that little highlight space, it gives your eye some real dimension. Okay, so this is my last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to want you all to really get to work and give this a shot. If you're drawing both eyes are typically about the width of one eye away from each other. And again, this is the little thing that makes one person different from another. Some people's eyes are a little farther apart, but as a general rule, if you see I put these little lines, there's the width of an eye, and then I go the width of that eye, and then I have the same width more or less for the other eye. Then I can do both eyes next to each other. Okay, that'll happen more when you're putting together a whole face, which we'll do in a couple of weeks. We'll show you different portions of the face. So for today and tomorrow, until the weekend, and through the weekend if you want, I just want you to play with drawing eyes and thinking about these 8 points. Pull up Governor Cuomo on your phone and draw his eye. Ask your little sister to sit still for you. Look in the mirror and draw yourself. You could fill a page with eyes. You could just kind of try it once. This would be our first step in working on the face, because what do they say? The eyes are the window to the soul. The way we draw eyes is very expressive in portraiture. Okay? Have fun. Good luck. Stay safe.